today, let us recap what we have done already in our previous lesson, and that video you can find on my channel. I will try to put a link in the description box below or up in the iCards. But so far, we have discussed selecting a topic, and we have made mention of the fact that we should select a topic that we love, or we should select a topic that we find interesting, and select a topic that is researchable. After you've selected your topic, you are going to formulate your research question, which is it's like a debate. So you're going to be creating a moot, and you're going to be making your research question something that it is debatable, researchable, and explanatory. And as you selected your formulated your research question, you're going to go ahead and you're going to write your thesis. Now, your thesis statement is like the answer to your research question. It is the position you're taking with your research question. And let me give you an example. A research question would be, did the 2020 Jamaican election impacted increase or uprising in the result of the coronavirus in Jamaica? That is my research question. No, that question gives two ways in which it can be answered. No, you could go ahead by saying your thesis statement could be the 2020 election severely impacted the drastic increase in corona cases in Jamaica. Or you could say the 2020 election did not cause the drastic increase for the 2000 for Jamaica in 2020 of coronavirus, because your thesis statement is your answer to your research question. It is your position. It is what you're going to be finding an argument to defend. It is what you're going to be looking evidence to support. And then finally, now we are going to be looking at our rationales and our introductions. And everything together, when you're finished, rational, introduction, topic, conclusion, body paragraphs should be a minimum of 1,000 words, with an exception of tables, illustration, and quotations. Now let us look at rationales and introductions. At this point in time, you're going to be giving us your why, your background story of your topic, the objectives you wish to attain by this research, and your aims, the reason why you're interested in this topic, and you're going to start giving us your sources. So that's what we're going to get out of your introduction. Why? Your introduction and rationale, your whys, your background, your objectives, your interests in the area, and you'll start giving us sources. Now, at what point do you give us this? All of these. Let's go into it. First and foremost, let us clearly define a rationale. What is a rationale? When your teacher instructs you to write a rationale, what are they asking you for? The rationale of your research is the reason for conducting the research. The rationale should answer the need for conducting said research. So when I say write a research, what I'm telling you to do is to tell me, why are you conducting this research? Why are you interested in this research? What questions will this research be answering? And that can be done in 3 simple statements. And so let us look into the development of our research. How do we develop these 3 statements? While you're developing your research, you must think of the objective, which is the what is it trying to answer. You must think of the purpose. What will you get out of this? What kind of edification or knowledge is coming from this? And of course, your interest and your motivation. Why are you interested in this? Why are you pursuing this topic? What is your personal desire? Or expected outcome, what led you to choose this topic in the first place, and also how will this information be used. Those are things you must think about as you develop your rationale. I advise your rationale to be 1 to 2 paragraphs. Now let's look at the outline of our rationale. As I said before, it has a minimum of 3 statements. And statement 1, a statement outlining how you became interested in the topic. So that's your first statement. You're going to tell me and your readers how you became interested in your topic. And here's an example. The researcher has seen movies and videos on slavery and the fight for freedom by the enslaved and was intrigued. This led the researcher to question what were the different ways the slave resisted slavery and how effective were these methods. So the person here is telling us that they became interested in the topic, and based on this we know that their topic will have to do with resistance and revolt and methods of resistance. Now this person became interested in this topic because of movies and videos that they were watching that intrigued them. And so the question of what were the different ways and how effective. So from this we know that they are going to be researching resistance and revolt, and we know why they're interested in the topic. Now the next thing you're going to tell your readers is a statement explaining why you are why you're so intent on this area of research. Now you told us why you became interested. Now you're going to tell us why your intent is to continue, because you could have been interested in continue. Why do you want to explore it? It says the researcher chose the topic resistance and revolt because he has always wondered to what extent did the resistance action and uprising of revolt by enslaved in the Caribbean undermine the plantation society and the system of slavery at large? So, in our first sentence, we allow them to know that you became interested through movies and videos. Now you're telling us you're going to continue the research because you want to know, did the actions of the slaves really impacted the end of slavery? Did the revolts and the riots and the rebellion action of the slavery, did it do anything to undermine the system of slavery? And if so, what was the extent? So now you have given us the reason why you are intending to continue the research after you have become interested. Now, your final explanation is a statement explaining the outcome you hope to achieve. You're going into this research, you must have an outcome in mind. You must have an end result in mind. You have certain questions you want to answer in mind. And this is it. Throughout this research, the researcher hopes to evaluate the various methods of resistance employed by enslaved in the Caribbean. In this paper, the researcher hopes to prove the following: that the enslaved employed several passive and active resistance in their daily life. 1. 2. The methods of resistance employed by enslaved were effective in undermining the system of slavery. So from this, I know what to look for when reading your research. And you also know what to look for when developing your research. You're going to look for evidence of passive and active resistance. And after looking for evidence of passive and active resistance, you'll go ahead and look for evidence to show that these active and passive resistance did undermine the system of slavery. And as simple as that, your rationale is complete once you follow these steps. Now that our rationale is complete, it is time for us to go and introduce to our readers what our research question is going to be about. At this point in time, when you are giving your introduction, you're going to give what is called background information. After you've given background information on your topic, you are also going to give an hook sentence, which actually comes before your background information. Your hook sentence is a sentence that grabs your reader's attention and pull their interest into what you're reading. Then you go on to giving your hook sentence. And at this point in time, you're going to cite 1 or 2 sources in your background information. Now, students, let us remember, you're not scholars, you're not historians, well, you are learning historians and you are becoming scholars, but you are yourself have not done any brown working work, and you yourself haven't written any book. So all the books that you use and all the resources that you use were written by someone else. And if you do not give credit to these persons, it is considered plagiarism. So you are going to give credit to the author from which you take your background information from. So if whatever your background information may be, you need to give credit to the author. You're going to say according to, stated by, any other way in which you can ensure you put the name and the year of the person who would have contributed the word that you are now using for your research. And you are going to also ensure that throughout your introduction, the essence of your research question is being presented. From your introduction, I must know your research question. At the end of your introduction, I should see your thesis statement. The last thing, but if you're a good writer, you're able to put your thesis statement in the middle or at the beginning. But I always advise my students to put it at the end. So once again, start your introduction with a hook sentence. Ensure background information on your topic or relevant areas in your topic is in your introduction. Ensure that as you write your background information, you are citing one or two sources because we do not want to plagiarize. And also ensure that your research question is stated or implied or highlighted. And finally, your thesis statement should be your concurring anchor statement in your introduction or your introductory paragraph. Let's look at some examples. Now, here's an example of a introductory